circumference of a circle. So how do we find the length around the outside of a circle? Or how do we find the circumference? Well, for any circle, if you divide the length of the circumference, the length around the outside, by the diameter, which is the distance from one side to the other through the middle, you always get the same number, and that's no matter how big or small your circle is, that number is always the same, and it will always be this number, 3.14159.265 ... and so on. It's a very special number that goes on forever and never repeats, and we call this special number pi. So Greek letter P for perimeter. Okay. Now the formula we use, well, there's actually two we can use to work out the circumference of a circle. If we know the diameter, the length from one side to the other of the circle, the circumference is that special number pi multiplied by the diameter. If, however, we know the radius, which is the distance from the centre to the edge, the formula is then C circumference is equal to 2 lots of pi times the radius, because obviously 2 lots of the radius give you the diameter. So example, find the circumference of the following circles using pi equal to 3.14. Now scientific calculators do have a pi button. You should be able to see it somewhere if you can't look at your calculator's instructions, but because we haven't looked at rounding just yet, we're going to use pi equal to 3.14. Okay, so for the first circle we know the diameter, so we're going to use that first formula. That was the circumference is equal to pi times the diameter. So pi is that special number 3.14, and we're going to multiply that by the diameter of the circle. On this circle it's 5 centimeters. So I've got my calculator up. We need to do 3.14 multiplied by 5, and we get 15.7. Remember that circumference is the length around the outside of a circle, so we need a unit, and it's 15.7 centimeters. For the second circle, the purple one, we've actually got the radius this time, so we're going to use the other formula, which is C equals 2 times pi times r, or 2 pi r. So this time it's 2 times 3.14 times the radius is 3. So using my calculator again, this time it's 2 times 3.14 times 3 equals 18.84. And again, it's in centimeters, so it's 18.84 centimeters. One more that's slightly different. Find the perimeter of the following shape, and this time we've got a compound shape. It's made up of, hopefully you can see, a rectangle and a semicircle, half of a circle. So the perimeter of these three sides is going to be straightforward, because we can already see that this length is 6, this length is 5, and because it's a rectangle this must also be 6 centimeters. But now we need this length around the semicircle. So to do that we need half of the circumference of the circle. So since we know the diameter, this length across is already 5 centimeters, the circumference of the full circle would be equal to pi times d. So that would be 3.14 times 5. So using my calculator, 3.14 times 5, we get 15.7 centimeters. But that was for the full circle. We've only got half of a circle here, so we need to divide that by 2, and we get, divide by 2, 7.85 centimeters. All we need to do now is add that onto the 6, the 5 and the 6. Well, the 6 and the 6 give 12, 5 more is 17, so we need to add on 17 centimetres, which gives us 24.85 centimetres.